Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that everybody is facing. We are feeling it up to our necks. That's cost of living. How are you surviving in these challenging times? In this video, I will share some incredible TikTokers who talk about their real life experiences, tips, tricks, and how are they coping. You will hear some budgeting hacks just how persons are making ends meet. So you don't want to miss out. Whether you are feeling the pinch or you are just trying to survive like myself, stay tuned. Don't forget to hit that like button. Do subscribe for more content on surviving and thriving in everyday life. Stay tuned.
A question and just answer me very honestly. For everyone that said they voted for this for things to get cheaper because they felt like everything was so expensive, they couldn't afford groceries, gas was so expensive. Now that everything is still expensive and we're months into this administration, what do you have to say now? Because I remember y'all saying that you couldn't afford cheese, and that one lady who was having her kids like share sandwiches, like square sandwiches. Now that everything is more expensive than it was even beforehand, what do you say now? Because grocery prices are literally exuberant. It's actually insane how much everything costs right now. Like, everything is priced like a luxury. Even the most normal things that we were like getting beforehand, everything is priced as if it's like something like of quality. I bought a bag of chips the other day. Shitty bag of chips, Doritos, $7. Not the party size, not the family size. A regular bag of chips, $7.
Paycheck with me as a nurse in Florida. I just opened my bank account and I had a visceral reaction. So instead of having a mental breakdown, we're gonna do this. Okay, so I got paid for the last 2 weeks, $2,050.62, which is actually slightly higher than normal, so we're grateful. I had to pay my rent. My rent is $1932.49 because there's fees involved, of course. Water, sewer, trash, which I have to pay at the same time, was $77.49, and then I had to fill my car with gas to get to and from work. That was $43.49. So, yeah.
Recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't, because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription. Everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money, and yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me, and they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes, and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC, not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor, and I have been extremely wealthy. And I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
We're spending. It's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen Z and millennials' cost of living in today's world. So number one is rent. Everyone knows that Gen Z and millennials have to have a roommate. So splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with utilities is around $1,500. If you have a car, a $12,000 to $15,000 used car is still going to run you $400 a month. Car insurance and gas is another $300. Student loan payment, $500. You're going to have groceries for $500. You're going to have personal care, doctor's appointments, hair, gym, about $150, and then cell phone and miscellaneous $150. That's $3,500 a month, which is baseline. Do you know how much $3,500 a month is? $70,000 a year, or $34 an hour. Because after you take out taxes, put $300 for health insurance, and do a healthy $500 401k contribution, that leaves you at $3,500. This is no fun, no savings, no maintenance, no clothes, no kids, no traveling, no vacations, no bachelor parties, no weddings, no funerals, no clothes, no school supplies, nothing. And this is paycheck to paycheck. And on top of it, they're holding $40,000 of student loan debt, a $15,000 car, and if they ever wanted to buy a house with closing costs and a down payment, another $50,000. So they need $105,000. So even if they were somehow able to scrounge up after $70,000 of paycheck to paycheck, $5,000 to go to a concert, to have avocado toast, whatever it is, $5,000 a year, it would take them 20 years to pay off this debt and save up for a house. 20 years of living with the roommate where that rent's going up, and they're making $70,000 a year as a college graduate. The average person in this country makes $50,000. It is not the overspending. It is a cost of living crisis.
Alright, so this video, please don't watch my blows in a yard. Don't watch me. Don't watch my blows. Alright, so this video is going to be about cost of living in Barbados. So I'm going to start off with rent. Rent can start from $425 and it goes up depending upon your preference, your style, aesthetics, and all of that. So I would say the average rent that you can pay monthly is $700. It can either be a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, but it depends on the area as well, if you live a country or if you live in the city. Next thing I'm going to talk about is grocery. Grocery for a week, it can, depending on how you eat, you can spend about $150 per week, and it can also be less sometimes, depending on if you're topping up. If you're a big eater, if you're alone, you can probably spend $50 per week depending on how you eat. But that part for me depends on how you eat, and I think that grocery is not far off from Jamaica. So what you would spend in Jamaica, just probably add 5,000 Jamaican dollars to that, and that's what you would spend on grocery here in Barbados. For your bills now, for internet it's $60 for just internet alone for the lowest speed. For light, you can spend probably $90 based on what kind of appliances you have at home. If you have washing machine, dryer, all the works, and if you use fan ad, if you have AC. But I would say $90 is the average to pay for electricity. Other utility is water bill, and water bill is not very high over here, but compared to Jamaica it's high. But $45 average you would spend on water per month, again depending upon how often you use it. If you're there home whole day, I work from home, so me I go use water throughout the day, so $45 me would have said, but it can be low and it can be higher. School, for all the mothers and parents that are asking, schooling is free for the most part. If a private school, you know you have to pay per semester, but schooling is free. The only thing you might ask for a contribution for is lunch, and that is probably about $3 a week, maybe $1 a day, or $1 something, or maybe even $1 a week. I don't know, but I don't pay for lunch because my picnic don't eat nothing but when he eat and yard, and he's very picky, so I don't pay for lunch. If it is that you drive, or say you don't drive and you need a shuttle to take your kids to school, even if you drive and they're not on your timing, you're going to need a shuttle. Then you shuttle over here if you can picnic or school back and forth, and it's very reliable. Shuttle can start from $30 per week, and it goes up depending on the distance, the shuttle service, and all of that. But the lowest you will pay is $30, and that's per week. If you have a young child and they're going to nursery, daycare, 3 and under, daycare can start from maybe $40 per week, and it goes up again depending on the daycare in the area, how posh it is, and all of that. But Daycare starts at $40 per week. So if you don't have a car and you have to take bus go work, bus fare is $1.75 to go however far you go, as long as the one bus ride. But sometimes you have to take 2 bus go work, because bus over here no work like Jamaica. Well, no. Taxi over here no work like Jamaica, where you can go to a road, flag down one taxi and it carry you going at the town. It doesn't work like that. Taxi here is chartered vehicle, so it's very expensive. The cheapest me ever pay on a taxi over here is $60, and it was for a short distance. So people rely heavily on the bus, the vans, and the transport bus, that is the government bus. So $1.75 for your fare, no matter how far you go, once at the one bus. But you know, if you have to switch buses, then it's another $1.75. And it also, no matter how short you go, is $1.75. Alright, so if you drive, if you come and you buy a car, maybe you can get your tank filled from $50, starting from $50, and it goes up. And it depends on how far you're driving to work. It depends on what type of car you have. You might have to fill up a tank every week or every 2 weeks. And then again, remember, Barbados is not that big, so nowhere is too far, because my husband say from the farthest point to the next, it's 45 minutes to go there, depending on traffic. But Barbados full of traffic, because there are one whole heap of car and the road them little bit. So now that is all of what you would have to pay automatically. But then you talk about if you have car payments, if you have expensive hobbies, you go to the gym, you have to pay a gym membership. If you have a car loan, if you have any other little thing where you have to pay for a month time, you have to factor in that as well. So take it how you may, but that's what I have to say about the cost of living in Barbados.
The cost of living in the UK right now is absolutely crazy. Like, I don't know how people afford to live here. Like, on minimum wage, especially, like, you need to have like 2 jobs to be able to afford the UK. Like, for me, like, I'm so grateful that I have the work that I do, because it makes it affordable to live here. But I don't even want to live here because of this costs. Like, I can like go to like places, even Dubai is cheaper than England right now. You could literally be living somewhere so much warmer and so much cheaper for the same amount of money or less. Like, for me, like, this just is like, and for everybody that I know, this is more than enough reason to go and start a side hustle and to want to go and like achieve more for yourself than having to like put up with this.
Cost of living in Canada is very high. Of course, here's my breakdown of my fixed expense for a single income home living in Alberta, Canada. First up, my rent is $1,500. It's a 2-bedroom condo. My car payment is $500 per month. My insurance is $235. My electric bill is $60. That's usually the fixed amount, you know, give and take. My internet, which I love this cost, and my TV is $114 per month. My cell phone is a whopping $150 per month, which is a new phone that I bought. I create contents with it, plus I use it for my side hustles. And of course, with my side hustles, these are businesses, therefore they are written off in my income taxes, so I'm not sweating about that cost. My gas also is to and from work and using it for my side hustles, and of course that is used to write off in my towards my income tax yearly. Also, my groceries are whopping $700 per month. Yes, this is for 2 people. My son and I do like trying to build our muscles. We go to the gym, so we spend on high protein food, so therefore that can be expensive, fruits and vegetables. My gym membership is about $60 bi-weekly, so it about $120 per month. If you do times that by 26, a little bit more, but roughly that's the fixed amount for the month. I have a loan payment there for about $500, and the miscellaneous payments is if sometimes I'll do my nails. I don't do my nails every month. I don't do my hair every month. So these costs are varied depending on what's going on, what trip I'm taking. I don't do, pretty much the upkeep of me is not really costing me monthly, because I will purchase stuff when I need it, and I have enough skincare right now. Of course, now and then I'll go to Sephora and get my skincare stuff and my makeup items, which my miscellaneous can be a little bit higher. However, month to month, my miscellaneous can be fixed at 200, maybe a little bit more, because of course girl go to Winners a lot and buy. So yes, so it's a total of $4,400. Is that costly? I think so, but I think it's better than living in Ontario, where the biggest part of the expense in Ontario maybe $1,000 more, and you guys have to take in consideration that I'm a single person with a single income also, so all that expense is on me. I won't disclose my income, but however, obviously I take care of my bills, and of course I have retirement savings for my son, registered savings plan, which is education, and of course emergency fund is put away too. So doing okay. Let me know if in the chat if any of these expense I can look to kind of make it cheaper. Can you relate to the expense? How are you guys coping? I think $4,400 for a single person is a lot of fixed expenses. A lot.
I go to supermarket a while ago. I think I like a $2,000 this. See ya? $2,000. 3 sardines, 3 tang, one Lasco, one big pack of Lasco, and one bread. If you don't believe me, see that? Look on it for yourself. Look on it for yourself.
The economy in Jamaica is absolutely crazy, and they want us to have children, and they're wondering why the birth rate is going so low. It's crazy. I just went to the supermarket and I picked up some stuff, and the bill came up to almost $8,000, right? So I bought some strawberries. I'm a tea person. I bought the assorted teas. I bought banana, chamomile tea. I bought like 3 of these carbonic water. I've always wanted to taste what this is, so put it in the coffee thing. And then I bought one of the small coffee. I bought coffee creamer and like 3 of these small water. And that's it. Wait, did I show the true shake? That's it. $8,000. 8,000 Jamaican. And these people have the audacity to come talk about we must breed. We must breed, and mind you, food not included. This is just some little stuff that I picked up. Meat not included, vegetable not included, rice not included, like the actual basic thing that you need to cook a meal is not included. At this point, I just look somebody who have them NHT benefits so that we can buy a house together and Airbnb. Because love no matter right now, it's a survival. Like, it's literally a survival. So if you're watching this video and you have your NHT points and you're interested in investing with me, let me know.
Why is no one talking about how serious the cost of living actually is? So we pay like a really cheap amount of rent compared to like all the other rent I see, and we're a family of 6. We pay $9.50 rent. That's cheap. We're in Missouri. It's like not some nice new place or anything. It was actually built in 1890. My husband is working 3 jobs right now. We buy absolutely nothing that we don't need. And we actually go without a lot of things that we actually do need. I feel like if you're able to do anything that's not just surviving, then you got it good. I feel so sad that I didn't appreciate the times where we were able to actually have fun at this point. So much has changed in the past few years. Like, what? I just really want to know. How is everyone surviving? Is everyone working like 24/7? Because that's what my husband does, and I'm just home with my little kids all the time. It's kind of like depressing that we're never together as a family, so I don't know. I hope one day we can be, but it sucks.
People affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her one-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that one-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment. You got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant, okay? So there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me off.
I knew how bad the economy was going to be up to date. I wouldn't have been riding no bikes, playing no video games. I would have bought a house when I was 10. They did a study based on today's economy. Like, what should minimum wage be based on today's economy to make sure an American is comfortable living a day-to-day life, like with the prices, how the prices is up to date. Bro, do you know how much they say you need to make an hour to be comfortable around this motherfucker? $66 fucking dollars an hour. $66 an hour, bro. Who the fuck making that? That ain't even the kicker. You make $66 an hour. You work 40 hours a week. At the end of the month, guess how much you gonna have in whole? 10 bands. Oh no, but don't think you taking the whole 10 bands. You forgot about Uncle Sam. You're going home with 6,500. Maybe a 7-ball if you lucky. Okay, so eliminate all the bills and life expenses from that 6,500. You left, even motherfuckers who making $66 an hour after paying all their bills and life expenses at the end of the month, they only gonna be able to save a band or two a month. So regular motherfuckers like me and you was just cooked. We po. We just, at this point, we just on the internet seeing who can be po better. Who can be best at being po.
So today I went into the grocery and a small tin of milk was $155. You're going to see it in the video. You'll see some of the prices. But I really want people to stop telling unprepared children that God will provide. Stop telling children that. It have no God will provide when you're in the grocery and the cashier say $155. Stop making children when you're not prepared to have children. And by the way, children is not for everybody, eh? So I'm not afraid to tell you. If you ain't able, you can't afford it, better you do have. Sad to say, but it's a reality. Because when they grow up, society...
To get political, but the cost of living crisis is getting out of control, and it didn't really hit me until I came to my local barber in Campsie where haircuts are now $10. I've been getting my fade here from a lovely Chinaman since they were $7 haircuts, and I copped the price increase to $8 in 2022, but since then the price has skyrocketed from $9 haircuts to now $10 haircuts in 2025. With the election on this year, Albo Dudden, if you want to get my vote, how about we address the cost of living for Aussies and the cost of a fade here in Sydney, because $10 for a haircut is outrageous. Back to you in the studio.
We're gonna move out the way. Guess how much all this was? Yeah, guess how much? 4 items: pads and a meal deal. Pads and a meal deal. Let's just guess that. £6.70. Who's paying that? Who is paying that? Me, the absolute fool, the clown. Yeah, £6.70, and that was meant to be what? 6, 7, 8. That would have been £9. £9, 9 British pounds for 4 items. You know that's nearly someone's hourly pay. Like, a few more pounds, a couple more pounds, like 1, 2, 3 more pounds. That's an hour's work gone for sanitary pads and a meal deal for one day. Come on. Like, the UK has actually lost the plot. They've lost the plot. I'm done. I'm finished. And people are coming at me in the comments on my last video saying, oh, the UK is what you make it. Life's what you make it. You know, you can do this. No. We're in a cost of living crisis here. The stuff that we pay for to live is costing way too much. Like, we work to live. We don't work to do anything else but live and survive.
I've noticed people don't like to talk about money nowadays, or even back in the day, it's a very taboo topic to talk about. But I think we need to start normalizing talking about it, and especially now with everything being so expensive. I'm going to break down the bills that I have. I'm making more money than I've ever made in my adult life right now. And this is the first time that I've had to budget. And you can say you're spoiled, whatever. I've just done well, and my husband does well. We don't live in a grandiose house. We live in a nice house, yes. We live in a very nice city, yes. But let's break down some of the bills. Let's just be completely transparent. So, first bill is the mortgage. My mortgage is almost $3,300 a month. The second bill, my biggest bill, is my daughter's school. That's almost $24,000 a year. The third biggest bill would be my utility bill. Apparently, we had a toilet running, and so last month, our water bill, I think I made a video about it, was $514. So I had to pay that. They wouldn't do anything about it. They said the water had to go somewhere. We had somebody to come out and check for any type of leak. There was no leak. We were forced to pay that on top of the regular water bill, which is usually $90 a month. Then you have your electricity bill, and that's usually around $130 a month. Then you have car payments. My husband's car is paid off, and my car now, my new one that I got, is about $300 a month, which is not a lot, I know. But then you have insurance. Our insurance is about $300 every single month. And what else? Extracurricular activities for my daughter, a couple $100s a month. Our grocery bill, we don't do like large hauls. We go like every couple days and get stuff, and I never had to budget it. We would just always go and buy it. And I broke it down this month, and we spend about $800 a month on groceries because we don't eat out and we make everything at home. And then we obviously have my housekeeper every week. That's $150 a month. So that's what, $600 a month. And then my dog gets groomed every 6 weeks. That's another $100. And that's not even including any of the extra things like shopping, whatever. And I don't even buy clothes full price. I thrift most things. And I don't get my nails done. I don't get my hair done. I don't do spray tan. I don't do lashes. Yes, I do Botox. That's it. I don't buy makeup. All my makeup is sent to me for free. Yes. And I don't know how families are dealing with the cost of living. It is scary. And like I said, my husband and I do well. I'm not going to go into exactly how much we make because I think that's a little bit too much. But those are our bills. And this is the first month that, we are going to be like paycheck to paycheck. And I've never been like that my entire life. And I'm worried. I'm legitimately worried. Usually everything just gets automatically taken out of our account on automatic payment. This time, I'm like, looking at my account and it's going to be close by the end of the month. And then credit cards, I put everything on credit cards, but I always pay them off in full at the end of the month. I will not pay a dime of interest. But this month, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. Depends on how big my commission check's going to be. And I never had to live like this before. I don't get it. My husband and I are both making more money than we've ever made. Why? I don't know how. It freaks me out to think about how other families live. Like, should I just move? Should we move to, like, West Virginia and just get, like, a nice big house? And all our expenses would be, like, lowered. Oh, property tax, $12,000 a year. You guys, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm nervous this month.
Cost of living is getting actually outrageous. I started today like, oh yay, I'm a second year lawyer, like, oh, I made it through my first year. And I ended it really pissed off because I was like, oh yeah, I am a second year lawyer and I still cannot afford to live on my own in a way that would not be stressful, or in a way that I would not struggle, or in a way that I can do so without financially burdening myself by going into debt. My goal this year was to move back home with my parents, move back to New Orleans, which is a cheaper cost of living market, especially compared to New York, LA, Miami, the other 3 markets I was considering. Move home for a year, save my money, and then buy a house. Right? Make a smart investment. Don't throw all my money out the window on rent. I can rent out a room, help me pay down the mortgage faster. Like, just being savvy and strategic and smart. Well, we're now officially a year into that plan, hence, oh yay, I'm a second year lawyer, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I have enough money for a down payment, but you know what I cannot afford? Damn near 7% interest rate on your principal mortgage amount. Rising property taxes, rising insurance costs, especially in Louisiana. So while I have down payment money, especially if I use an FHA loan, I literally could not afford in a financially responsible way my mortgage. I would be house poor. So if I'm going to be house poor, that defeats the purpose of being fiscally responsible and purchasing a house. So there's that. Also, the money that I've saved is probably just enough for a year's worth of rent. I have multiple reservations with renting in New Orleans. My main one being, why would I pay rent in a city where my parents own a house? I just think that's counterproductive. And 2 being, I would rather rent in a more expensive market like New York. And that's just housing. That's not counting how expensive everything else has gotten as well. I saved that money by living at home, but even still, I had to make such big financial sacrifices to still save that money, even with living at home, because the cost of other things is so ridiculously high. Like I've been talking about, I've been suffering hair loss. Every time I go to the dermatologist, that's $150 an appointment per half hour. The medicine that I was prescribed to alleviate my hair loss is about $60 a bottle. The other serum that works well for my hair is also $60 a bottle. And maybe to some people, those are not necessities, but it's a necessity to me for my hair not to fall out. So I can't cut those expenses. And there's things that I have tremendously cut from my spending habits. For example, I don't have a gym membership anywhere. I cut down shopping for clothes. I hardly ever shop for clothes. Maybe every couple months I'll get a couple new pieces. But if you know me, I used to shop very consistently. I probably was buying something like once a month. I basically completely cut out any type of luxury shopping as well. Even on Christmas, I decided to take my Christmas money and buy a camera to invest in my content creation. And I asked for the rest of the money to be put in my account so I could pay down my credit card bill. I get my hair done a lot less often. If you knew me in law school, you knew I stayed changing my hair. I don't do that anymore. I cut out lash extensions. I cut out laser. I hardly ever Uber, especially compared to how I used to Uber when I was in school. I largely consolidate eating out for the weekends. Monday through Friday, I pretty much almost always go to work and go home. The thing that I splurge on is literally going out a couple of days, once or twice with my friends, my hair, skin, and makeup. And to me, those are things like, well, what the heck? Are you going to live a life? You have to be able to live a life. All that to say, I have the money to live on my own, but I could not do so in a comfortable manner that would not be financially stressful. And I'm sitting here like, wow, I can't even imagine having student loans on top of all of these things. And I'm just getting increasingly more frustrated because the older generations really do not understand. They do not understand. They think you make so much money. They think your dollar stretches so far. They just do not get it because when they were young professionals, their dollar went a lot further than ours did. I just feel like our generation, you have to have multiple jobs if you really want to be able to afford to live comfortably, to still save money, to still be able to do nice things for yourself. This would make more sense to me if I really was still frivolously spending, if I really hadn't cut anything from my budget, if I really was keeping up with my high maintenance appointments to keep me low maintenance, if I really was still doing all that and traveling and catching a flight every weekend and paying for a hotel and doing all the things, I could stomach this a lot easier because it'd be like, okay, yeah, that's where my money went. But actually looking at everything I've cut out to try to afford this goal that I have and still not being able to reach it, even going to an extreme as living at home and cutting out all those major expenses, it is so frustrating. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it genuinely feels like you just won't break out of the cycle. Like, I started crashing out after work today because I genuinely was like, oh my God, I might not ever move out of this house. Obviously, I can move if I'm willing to throw all the money I saved into rent, which is just, the thought makes me sick. No, but like deadass, I can't cut any of my spending if I want to live any type of life. I just can't. How the hell were people raising families on this salary? Like, please.
I am seriously starting to feel like it's just about impossible to live in the United States. And, I don't want to seem like a lazy bum when I seen this, but I truly feel like it's just about impossible. If you weren't raised and given a good first hand in life, or a support team who will make sure no matter what that you don't fail, or having people that you're able to fall back on, you're blessed. And if you are one of those people, I highly suggest you thank those people near you, because a lot of us aren't blessed like that. I'm a 23-year-old dad. I've got 2 kids. I've got about to be a 5-year-old in May, and I've got a newborn too. She's just a few weeks old, like 3 weeks. So my wife gets to stay at home and take care of the babies, and I'm out here trying to get it. I'm on my 3rd shift job now. I'm a security officer for Allied Universal. No, I don't represent the company in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This is just a job. I am not a part of this company. But, and I work here from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. every single day, 8-hour shift. I get off of this 3rd shift job and I go directly into another job, which I just go around my city, finding side jobs. It might be a clean out one day and I go out there for another 5, 6, 7 hours. It might be landscaping another day. It might be painting one day. It could be, it varies. I do what I can where I can. But therein, I go home and I have to stay up even longer to make sure that my lady is able to get her rest too, because, being a mom's a hard job. Yes, I'm working hard, but being a mom is a hard mental job as well in its own. So I have to stay up for a little bit in order to give her time to actually rest and get her sleep too, because she needs it. But I say that to say all this, having people to fall back on. Let's say you're going down the road and, like my case, my heater core blows up. I don't have no one I can call to say, hey, can I borrow $400 so I can get my heater core replaced? Or, you got $300-400 so I can get new tires on my vehicle. That is just something you have to figure out on your own. And if somebody with terrible credit, you can't just go get a loan for these things. The only loan you could get is a title loan. And in a lot of states, title loans are illegal for a reason. I'm stuck in this title loan, having to pay them back $4,300, but I have to pay $700 a month just to drive. That doesn't go toward my principal, on top of having to pay my rent and all the other bills just to survive. It's impossible. I would never hurt or harm myself in any way, but sometimes I just wonder why. Why am I here? There's got to be a reason why, life is so hard for me. What if it's not meant for me? This shit drives a lot of people to anger, man, and I understand. I truly do. People say maybe these next 4 years. No, this is literally impossible. There is nothing no president is able to do to save people from what we are having to go through. Housing at an all-time high. You could go to another country and You can have the same homes here for a tenth of the price that we're paying per month. Food the same exact way. And I just feel like it's impossible. If I was a drug addict, if I was a piece of shit dad, I could have so much more help. But with me out here trying to do everything the right way, you know, and nothing's working, nothing's helping. Life absolutely sucks right now. It truly, truly sucks. And there's no way to get out of it than to continue to dig myself into working and trying to come up out of this hole that seems impossible to come out of. You know, sorry for the rant. I'm not usually the ranting type. I'm just tired. I'm sick and fucking tired of having to live the way that we have to live just to survive, because it's nonsense. It truly is. I mean, I try my absolute hardest and I'm not getting anywhere. A lot of you are able to fall back on TikTok. I can't fall back on TikTok. Every time I try to get a video to blow up, it never does, and I'm not going against any standards. There's people doing way worse shit than me, and they're getting way more views and everything, but yet whenever I want views, I have to pay for them. Not me. I don't have that extra funding. You know, and then you pay for it, and then there's no guarantee that you have those same people coming right back. You pay for the views, and then afterwards you're back in a 200 view jail. And that's it. TikTok's fucking stupid when it comes to income too. I don't know. I wish I can catch that big break. I wish I could get back to a life of, you know, damn, we've paid our rent, power, water, Wi-Fi, and insurance. That's our bills for the month, you know, and we can afford that. Talking about saving money and being able to invest in land and a whole bunch of other stuff. It seems impossible. So, you know, if you have that support team and you have a whole group of people that are there for you to make sure that you don't fall, be thankful for them, because there's a lot of us up here that one slip, one fuck up, one missed day out of work will cause us to lose our home, our vehicle, and to end up being on the streets. DSS is no help. CPS is no help. They won't help you until you're actually living on the streets. And once you are, they take your kids because you're an unfit parent. There's no help. You can't call these resource centers and everything like that. You can't depend on food banks for food, because a lot of these food banks give you rotten meats and shit. It's just hard. It's just hard. Y'all let me know if y'all go through the same things on a daily basis, or am I just an irresponsible piece of shit? Because I don't feel like I am.